checking in again. And today I'm here again with Rob, and he has another ghost story for us. And just to recap, a ghost is none other than someone like you or I, out of the body, can't move on, or choosing not to move on. So I believe this story, Rob, is something to do with somebody imprisoned in a room?
Yeah, they were imprisoned in a room. So the story starts basically, someone had a house, they've lived there for a long time, they hadn't sensed anything at all. Then they started doing some renovation on the house, which is often when they start sensing something, but they have no idea what's going on, but they're sensing something around them, which is very, very common. So I was contacted on this one. And now with nearly all the spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, that I deal with, I don't have to go to the premises. Sometimes I do, but not normally, and this is what people find very strange. Right. We're physical, but of course they've left the body and they're spiritual. And all our loved ones on the other side, you know, people often sense them. They've only got to think about going somewhere, and they're going somewhere. But of course we keep thinking physical all the time. So when I started looking at the pictures of this house, I said I don't need to visit it, I started sensing this lady in the house. But the lady was in this room, and it was fairly clear quite quickly that she was kept in that room for a long period of time. So some man had imprisoned her in that room. He wouldn't let her out of that room. I think she was in there more than 10 years. Oh, okay. So the point is, her normality of life was in that room. Right. So there's no friends coming to see her, nothing else was taking place. She was kept in this room. And then when she died, her normality was this room.
Right, well, she'd been isolated for all that time.
All that time. So that's her normality, and it sounds a strange way of describing it, but that was her comfort zone, that was what she was used to. Now, the first thing people think, well, why aren't her loved ones from the other side coming to see her and help her out? And you know, wouldn't that be a great thing to take place? She's blocking them simply because when she was in the physical body, no one came to visit her, and this was her normality for a long period of time. So now she's died, and her free will is she's used to this room.
So she's going to do what she's accustomed to.
Yeah, exactly that. So she hasn't left the room. She is not used to friends and relatives coming to visit. So basically, she is blocking them out. Now, the other thing that happens, and this is the same with all the spirits that haven't moved on, who are like this in a confused state. Basically, they may have 100,000 people come through the house, but they take no notice of them because they're not being recognised. No one is saying hello to them or sensing them or anything else. But then when someone like me, just looking at the pictures, not visiting the house, so basically I'm thinking about being at the house, and that's all that someone who's passed over would have to do, think about it, and they're there. Immediately when I do that, she is sensing me.
Wow.
Because there's someone in the physical who is sensing her. Now she's been there for a long period of time with no one sensing her, no one in the physical actually sensing her. So I'm not on the premises, but I am sensing her. And they recognise something about a medium. When you could, on the other side, when you see each other, you're talking without opening your mouth, you know what people are like, reading minds if you like, but this is the normality. She immediately knew that I had done this before, but she's very, very cautious. So she was open to something to do with me because she could sense I've helped people before, but she's not going to suddenly trust me.
Right.
Some man has been in prison for all this time. She is not going to trust me. And so using my free will then, I invite some of her friends to come back who she knew on the earth plane. Doesn't matter who they are, I didn't know that. As soon as I ask for that, they come in absolutely immediately. It's astounding how quickly it takes place. So she's still looking at me, but her friends are there, and obviously her friends are trying to do the right thing. They are chatting to her, they're telling her how beautiful it is on the other side and everything else and what she's missing. So she's half concentrating on me, saying that you do need to do this, and she's listening to them. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. But after about 3 or 4 minutes with this lady, often they give me a last look before they disappear. Off she went with her friends and disappeared, went where she was supposed to be. But the point is, it's her free will. So it was her free will to stay there in the first place because she didn't know anything else, and that was her normality. It's my free will to invite her friends in, and then when she leaves, her free will. She won't be coming back again. Away she goes. And then I heard from the people a few days later, and they're not sensing in the house anything.
It's just amazing how quickly that happens once that connection is made.
Once the connection is made, it can happen very quickly. Sometimes I have to be a bit more, invite some different people in, or whatever it is. Sometimes it changes, and I have to act very quickly. But once the connection has been made, once I sense what's going on, then I can sort things out. And initially, you've got to understand, when they've been there for over a decade, and well, she'd been there a lot longer than that. She was a decade in the physical body, decades since then. For her suddenly to have someone sensing her is a bit of a shock.
It's huge.
It's absolutely huge. So one has to be careful with these situations, and the friends coming in is the key to the whole thing. And then she leaves, and then job done.
Right. Oh my goodness. And you get the idea that those friends are just waiting.
They're waiting for the opportunity, but they can't go against her will, because her will is, I'm here, nobody can visit me, nobody can visit me. Seems insane, but that's what happens. Time and time again, when there's an interaction from a medium like me, then you can make this happen and they move on. And I know it's strange, I don't have to be on the premises, but that's the whole thing. Simply by looking at the pictures, I can visit the house, if you like, in my mind, and they know what I'm doing, and then it all starts.
Wow, that is just amazing that can happen. And we are out of time again, but that really gives us a view of how Rob works in these situations. We know your time is precious. Please send us your comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye.